Okay, thank you very much, Don Legends. Joe Harper, Stuart McKimmie are here with us to debate who next for Aberdeen Football Club in the wake of Mark McGhee's sacking. First off, Stuart McKimmie, I'd like to ask you, sir, who do you think should be the next manager of Aberdeen Football Club and why?
Are they going to, well there's two options here I'm looking at. Are they going for the cheap option, or are they going to have the option that people want is probably the right option, which might entail having to approach a club?
Marino has already turned the offer down.
He knows, you know, a job too big for him.
Too big.
Right. If it was available, availability at the moment, I mean, I've got a kind of liking for John Hughes. I think I like his style. He's a very passionate person. He wears his heart on his sleeve. I think he's a determined character to succeed. But I mean, he hasn't really got a proven track record with regards to success. But I think, I mean, if you look at what we're looking at here, Aberdeen Football Club, you're not going to exactly extract somebody who's been won trophies all their career. But I think his style, it's his style of football I've been impressed by, especially when he was at Falkirk. I witnessed quite a number of games at Falkirk of Aberdeen, an absolute doing with regards to footballing ability. They didn't always get the result that they deserved, but I think he encourages football. For a guy who was just an out-and-out centre-half, I think the way he conducts himself with regards to footballing, he encourages the players to play.
When we saw Falkirk this year, Stuart, the legacy is still there. They still play good football, and they were by far the better team against Aberdeen, although Aberdeen knocked them out. And you can't knock him with his, because he got a lot of these players taken away from him. They sold them, etc. and that. So I think he would be a candidate.
So Stuart's obviously in favour of John Hughes. Joe, yourself, do you have a preference?
Well, I would rather go, I've said in the paper, I'd rather go along the route of getting an old head in, somebody who's been about the place. And if you look at Motherwell, you look at Craig Brown and Archie North, they've done a magnificent job. So I would tend to go for the likes of Alex Smith, a senior statesman, and bring in likes of Billy Stark, a young up-and-coming coach. And as long as the club take them in and say to them, right, we'll give you a 3-year or a 5-year contract, and you're going to be here until that's up, and give them a chance to do things.
But we've looked at that over how many managers, and they've never given any of them a real crack at it.
Well, I mean, this is where the club's got to come out and say,
We've got 5 years though, remember?
I know, that's what I'm saying, so why not just say, right, we're going for 5 years, we'll stick by it all the way, through thick and thin, and give them the chance to build this team up. Whoever takes this team over, Charlie, has got a massive, massive job, because I don't think this team are capable of staying up.
Yeah, and obviously other candidates have been linked with the post today. Terry Butcher, Jimmy Calderwood for a return to Aberdeen. Start with yourself, Stuart. Any thoughts on the other candidates that have been linked with the Aberdeen job?
Well, I just want to kind of jumps out to me, and we're talking about teams who are doing well against Aberdeen. It's John McGlynn and Raith Rovers. I've seen Raith Rovers play against Aberdeen 3 times, and they've totally outplayed Aberdeen football-wise. Once again, I'm looking at, you're looking at improvement in your team. You're looking for the team to be actually going somewhere and trying, for people to leave a game at the end of the day talking about the good things as opposed to it was rubbish. I think John McGlynn, if you look at, we were talking about Jose Mourinho earlier on, McGlynn didn't exactly play for top class footballing sides. So not always the best players make the best managers, and looking at him, that's another guy. So another guy, he's a for himself as well. But if you look at McGlynn, I think he's actually been with Hearts as well. So he's kind of been a wee spell a managing and assistant there. But I think he's done a fantastic job at Raith Rovers, and we witnessed 3 cracking games in Raith Rovers. At the time when Aberdeen beat them, I says they would be a welcome addition to the Premier League because of the way they play the game.
We've got this perception, Charlie, that Aberdeen are still a massive team and people will just walk away and be delighted to come to Aberdeen. Why would Terry Butcher, having done what he's done with Inverness, Cali, want to take the chance to come to Aberdeen, having looked at the squad, having already beaten us twice? Why would he do that? I mean, they're 15 points clear of us. So I think Terry Butcher's out. John Collins, if he was interested, would be an interesting one. But again, he hasn't really done anything to prove that he's a good manager. There was talk about Michael O'Neill from Ireland coming over. I don't know if that would be a good idea. Jimmy Calderwood, as much as you want to think about Jimmy coming back again, I don't think, it was the fans that got Jimmy out. You know, the fans were so annoyed because of the semi-final defeats. They weren't happy. In hindsight, what a good job he did, getting us into the top 6 5 years in a trot, into Europe twice, you know, and then the last year he got us into Europe, he gets sacked by the board. You know, so I mean, I don't know. Jimmy might, I think he would probably come back for his ass, but I can't see the board doing that, because it would make them have egg in their face, wouldn't it?
You brought up the board there. I mean, do you think the board were right to sack McGhee? Now, what are your thoughts on the Aberdeen board on this day?
I think absolutely. You know, you'll get to a stage in a career in the season, Charlie, when things are going so bad that, you know, you think, well, if you don't make a change, it's not going to get better. I mean, we've seen enough over the last 2 months to realise that this isn't a good team. You know, for whatever reason, whether it was they were playing for the manager or not, regardless of the backroom staff, whatever it was, they're not a good team. And if we get into a fight, it's going to be a hell of a struggle. I think they had to sack Mark McGhee. I think a lot of times he talked a lot of rubbish, you know, saying that the players were right behind him when it was blatantly obvious that the players were not playing for him. You know, stuff like that. And he had to say that. He had to say that for his own good. But, you know, after the Kilmarnock game, it obviously got too much for him. He stopped coming up with these sort of things, the positive things. So I think it was right to get rid of him.
And yourself, Sue, what are your thoughts on the sacking of Mark McGhee?
Yeah, I mean, I agree it's the right decision, but I think it's the manner of how to do it again. You look back, you mentioned Jimmy Calderwood. Why wait till he gets promotion or the game before the promotion? Gets into the European, into the Europa League. Why sack him after achieving that? If you look at Mark McGhee, the right time to sack Mark McGhee would have been after the Inverness game. He'd just been beaten by Celtic 9-0. He was actually pinning his hopes on beating Inverness, which would hopefully springboard a wee mini revival. It didn't happen. They had a board meeting. Why they had a board meeting? Just to say, right, we'll keep you on. It was just a matter of when it was going to happen. So
yeah, but I think they thought they would beat Inverness as well, and it would give them a wee bit of leeway. The only reason Mark McGhee wasn't sacked there and then was to give him up to Christmas for these games coming up, to see if he could. Mark always said he was a good manager. I'm a good manager. He never proved it. He's got to forget talking, come out and show that you're a good manager, and he didn't do that.
I remember somebody else doing that, and he still at this day would say he wouldn't do anything different.
I know, that's true.
Difficult to accept failure.
So what will the new manager have to do to keep the Dons up? I mean, the priority obviously is to keep Aberdeen in the SPL.
Before we go any further, Charlie, before we go into new managers and that, I think the board have got a lot of answers for it as well. You know, there's people on that board who have made mistakes that have cost this club a lot of money. You know, a lot of money that could have been given to Jimmy Calderwood at the time, you know, which would have been a massive bonus and an improvement. If we had that money to throw away, and we've just thrown it into the fire. So there's got to be questions asked at the very top. You know, it's not just Mark McGhee and his lot go. That's not good. If there's a problem, you've got to get rid of the whole problem. And we're not doing that. We'll get rid of half the problem. The other half lies in the board, and that's got to be looked at.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I think Stuart Milne, if he made other changes, I think he would win a lot of respect from the fans. And
don't beat around the bush. What changes do you mean?
Well, I mean, do Aberdeen in this day and age need a director of football channel? Seriously, because I don't think it were a big enough club for that. Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, yeah, but not Aberdeen. You know, we need people who are going to get in there and work their socks off for that club. And what Stuart said is, he said that he thinks that if sort of changes were made, the fans would respect that. The fans would also come back. There's a lot of fans walked away from that club because of the way the club's been run at the moment. And it's not been run. We've got to get back to being the family club. Aberdeen's a one-city team. We're not Dundee, we're not Glasgow. We're a one-city team, we're not Edinburgh. We have got the bulk of the fans. We've got to get back to having this family club where the fans feel as if they're part of the club. And I don't think they've felt that for a long time.